To the Batmobile. Let's go.
Atomic batteries to power. Turbines to speed.
Roger. Ready to move out.
All right. Base Boy Banner, episode 137. Back in the house. Thor, Brian, doing our thing. Shooting a little video. Trailer madness. What would you call it? Trailer.
I don't know.
Trailer Bonanza 2019 just hit us. Trailer Gate. Nah, I don't know.
Oh boy.
Well, whatever. Though I guess there's no. Never mind. We'll leave that there. So trailers happened. Lots of trailers. Lots of trailers. Do you think we go chronologically? We'll start with the first and we'll end with the last, the most recent. Start with the oldest, end with the most recent. Yeah, let's do that. Good idea, Thor. Black Widow dropped last week.
Okay.
That was the first one we watched, right? Mm-hmm. Black Widow dropped last week. And I was one of those people. I was like, we don't need this movie. I have no interest in this movie. I could give an F about this movie. Right? I was like, don't even care. Saw the trailer. Felt completely different.
Really?
Wanted to see it. I love what Red Guardian, her dad, when he puts on the suit, and because he's like the Captain America of the Soviet Union, but the mantle changes hands. Well, in the comics it does. I don't know about in the cinematic universe, but just to see him squeeze into that suit, and I love that actor from Stranger Things anyways.
Right.
So I was totally here for that. Seeing her and her sister do battle and them going back to like the school that trained them to probably take it down. Hell yeah. Let's go. Let's go.
I was a little more lukewarm on it. I mean, there were parts I was like, oh, this is kind of neat, but...
Really?
Like,
See, I thought
the
I was
part
gonna...
that kind of spoiled the whole thing for me is he's like, oh, sis, like just awkwardly like dropping so you know that they're related, so the rest of the trailer makes sense.
Ooh,
and I'm sure it won't, it's very unlikely it'll be in the movie because they just needed it, I think, for the trailer. But the minute that dropped, I was like, oh man, this trailer just like dropped. I think
that'll be in the movie.
Much less cool.
That fight scene will definitely be in the movie.
But
like
that line is you have more time to explain it without awkwardly being like, wow, you're still just as good as you used to be, sis. Like, I mean, when was the last time you called your brother bro? You know what I mean? You just kind of like, it's awkward. You know what I mean?
I do call him bro all the time.
But you know what I mean? It's like,
I call lots
if
of
you
people
were
bro all
in
the
a
time.
weird gunfight with him, you wouldn't be like, wow, your aim's really bad, bro. You know what I mean?
Not as cheesy.
No.
I'd be like,
no, you would just, say nothing, you know?
No, I'd definitely make fun of him. And maybe throw a bro in there, but it's unnatural and
definitely wouldn't add a bro,
like
and that's my point.
But okay, aside from that line, like the action, what you saw from her, and this is supposed to be her pre Iron Man 2,
which you thought was really funny. I don't understand what's so funny about that. I mean,
she doesn't look.
Right.
She doesn't look like that person. That person had different hair, even.
Yeah.
Like it was just different. It was just a different look. Now she's changed in almost every movie. Her looks change in almost every single movie. And like I get that. So
supposed to be
it's
a
cool.
spy.
It's cool that they took it back to like the original look that she had, kind of. That didn't take me out of it too much, but I love to start with like Taskmaster with the bow and arrow and those dudes flying through the air trying to shoot down. I don't think that would work. Physics tells me does that work? Does a gun shooting down when you're traveling, wouldn't you shoot yourself?
I'm sorry, what?
See, when those dudes were skydiving and they were shooting.
Did you just ask if they would travel faster than the bullets coming out of their guns?
But if you're shooting, let's say you're in a free fall.
Okay.
In the middle of the sky and you shoot a gun down. Does it? Yeah.
No. So I'm going to stop you.
Where are the speeds?
Stop.
Whoa, stop.
So technically, when you're free falling, the bullet is traveling at the exact same speed that you are free falling already. That's how physics works. It's still in motion, and so when you shoot it, it adds.
So the gun would still have the same effect.
So the gun would shoot like normal.
Okay. I was curious.
The only way it would be different is if you shot the gun and then sped up for whatever reason, which you are
your arms
falling.
down and, like, go
when you're
faster?
falling, you're technically accelerating. You're not going a set speed, so you don't fall at, say, like X miles per hour, you're accelerating at X miles per hour
Right, this is
with
too
the
much
wind
math for me.
slowing you. And the bullet's more aerodynamic than you, so that's, you know, but if somehow you manage to accelerate faster than that bullet, which would also be accelerating at the speed of gravity and what the gun shot it at. So in short, no, you're dumb. The bullet, you wouldn't catch up with your bullet.
All right. Well, hey,
Ding dong.
yeah. Well, you know, I never said I was the smartest man in the world. You know, just something when I was watching it, I was like, wait a minute, how would does that work? Does a gun have the same, you know, effect? Whatever.
That would be like, I mean, the reason that's a dumb question is like, oh, well, then dive bombing planes would just blow themselves up because they'd shoot their guns and, there they go.
That's true. But those are bigger guns.
Oh, so that, because they're bigger, they go faster.
No, they shoot with more power.
But don't planes go faster than you free falling?
Ah, got me. You got me. All right, what can I say? Dumb question. Jesus Christ. What were we talking about? Black Widow.
Yeah. Hey.
So you kind of liked it?
It was.
I liked it better than the next trailer we're going to talk about.
I mean, I'm not going to act like I'm like, whoa. Like, that trailer wasn't the decider of whether or not I was, like, in it
Were you in the movie going into it? Or how did you feel about the movie going into the trailer, I guess?
Not necessarily like I needed this movie, but I'd probably end up watching it, and it would probably end up being pretty
Theaters
decent.
Or...
I mean, I'd try,
later.
but it's probably be like Ant-Man and the Wasp, where I watch it later and be like, dude, why didn't I see this in the theater? This is so good.
That was a good movie in the theater. I saw it in the theater. I see movies in theaters. So, all right, next movie we were talking about, James Bond, No Time to Kill, I think it's called.
No Time to Die.
Whatever. The 25th iteration of James Bond, the 25th film.
See, and you seemed really down on this.
Okay, so number one, I think James Bond as a character kind of doesn't work anymore. Just my personal feels about it.
So this is my reverse on that.
Give me a John Wick. Give me like a John Wick type, something like that. You know,
can make
even
Bond.
Even Bourne was, I think, more suited for these times than Bond is. And then if you change Bond too much, is it still James Bond then?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. But is it still, right?
Is his character...
Well, and they're going to, because that's what's going to happen as soon as... This is Daniel Craig's last one. I was bored by the trailer. It looked like a James Bond movie.
I mean, at the end of the day, does James Bond have to be these things that you don't think keep up with the times? Or is he supposed to just be...
Those are pretty intricate parts to the character that they've established through the years, yeah.
I mean, that he's a ladies' man, but you can change that to make it less scummy.
True. And it's interesting that they're adding the woman in there that was Bond or 00 for 2 years or something like that. So like 007 or just like a 00 agent.
And it's
they were very unclear about that.
There's so many ways you can go with it.
So were you
I think.
super pumped then? Were you watched the trailer and you were like
super pumped, but about as pumped as I was for the last couple, which was it looks like James Bond. I felt like this felt more classic James Bondy with some of the
Skyfall was the
stuff.
last Bond I cared to see.
And that one felt a little... See, I feel like Daniel Craig, all of his movies have felt very like they're trying to make James Bond different. Like new,
that's
right?
The thing. Yes, because because the character doesn't work in these times.
Right. This one feels like they're kind of going back to classic. And I'm not talking about the character. I'm talking about like the movie,
and apparently he
right?
threw everything away for a woman in the last film. I didn't watch it. Whatever. I don't even care. Moving on. Then to another movie I don't care about and watched the trailer and cared even less after that. Mulan.
You didn't like the Mulan trailer?
Not that I didn't like it. I just didn't care.
The only thing I wasn't into.
I didn't see Aladdin. I didn't see Lion King. I didn't see Maleficent 2. I don't care about these live action reboots.
Which is fair
I just don't care. I don't even know. That's why I said we were watching
But
this.
this is
why are we
my
talking about this
reverse on
trailer?
that.
All right,
which of those movies were you like super into with the animated? You know what I mean?
When I was a kid?
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
Lion King?
Well, then I can't help it that you're just a bad person. Because I'm super excited for Mulan just because that was, I would argue, probably when I was younger, my favorite Disney movie.
Alice in Wonderland, they already did that and kind of ruined that.
No, yeah.
They
ruined it. You can just
it.
let it. But this Mulan, the only thing I'm not super into is the witch thing. It felt a little too...
Was there a witch in the original Mulan? It's been so long since I've seen the animated Mulan.
So this is what
didn't
made
think
it
there
cool.
was, but...
This is what made it cool. Mulan is just a girl. Right? So they're like, okay, girls can't be warriors. This is China, dude.
Right.
And then
ancient China.
She shows the rest of the dudes how to become warriors or whatever and helps while they're training and kind of like whatever, pretending to be a dude. And that's what kind of establishes, at least in the animated.
It's probably going to be similar.
Disney. But the cool part to me is like later they're like, like, oh, we're not supposed to be cool with you because you're a girl and you like pretend to be a warrior, but they also like forged a warrior bond with her, and like we're like, okay, we can get over this, In this, it felt, I don't know, weird. It's less special because it's not normal people doing something that's like, it's like, oh, there's a witch here, so like magic. I don't know. I'm just worried it'll be a little too. What is that? The Seven Samurai, the last couple samurai. It's got Keanu Reeves in it.
Oh yeah. I know. I mean, the trailer. About. That's not the movie. The name of the movie is not that, but yes, I know what you're talking about.
And he's like half.
Or the Tom Cruise samurai film.
No,
same type.
Different one.
I know,
completely different.
Same type of.
My point is, there is no. Well, no. The point is the witch kind of like it added a bunch of magic to the story that made it weirder.
But it didn't add anything good to the story.
Right. It's like I'm a weird witch, and like so I'm just worried they're gonna ruin what's supposed to be like a story of her just being better, like proving that girls are equal to boys by adding weird magic stuff into it and like kind of making like cop out like I don't know, weird stuff happen instead of it just being a story about how girls can totally kick butt just like boys, and it doesn't matter whether you're a boy or a girl. You can defeat frickin' the Huns and save China.
You know what I'm most shocked about that you didn't take the advantage of? You had the easiest shot at me of, oh, you hate women because I didn't like the trailer, and you could have taken it.
Well, that's because I'm better than that.
And you didn't. I'm
better than that.
I'm not.
Better than that.
Because I've taken shots at you many a time.
I know.
Captain Marvel.
Wasn't
it Wonder Woman too? Mm-hmm. I'm find all those. What was the next trailer we watched after that? Oh, it was Wonder Woman. It was Wonder Woman.
What a good segue.
But so we watched Wonder Woman 84. Mm-hmm. Dub 84 is what they're calling it. That's what they're calling it, is WW84. Wonder Woman 84. Dub. Speaking of dub, we'll be talking about that later in a different video. WWE though, because we're going to TLC this weekend. Brian's going to his first wrestling event this weekend.
Oh yeah,
it's gonna be. Gonna be good. I mean, the matches we'll see, but the experience and the time.
Let's focus. We got a second video to do.
WWE 84. I don't know how they're gonna explain bringing back Steve Trevor. I mean, I don't really care. I just don't know why it's necessary to have him back. Like, how integral. You couldn't come up with a story that just didn't involve Chris Pine and her attachment to this dude who's dead.
I don't even know what's going on, honestly, in the trailer. I'm like, whoa, there's like a lot of Wonder Woman stuff happening. But like,
it's the 80s. I think
they nailed, like, it feels real 80s.
Oh,
like the whole time, like the music's going and like you're just like, yeah. But at the same time, it's also like
you get her swinging from lightning with her rope,
which is just weird.
Which I'm like, why not? And then what was the one, like, nothing good comes from lies or something like that. Yeah. True, but it was just weird. I like the trailer.
I mean,
I actually like the trailer. I'm excited for Wonder Woman 2 or WW 84.
I don't know.
Calling it.
I don't know what to really make of it because there's parts I like, but then at the same time, it's
Kristen Wiig's going to be Cheetah. So eventually, like, her and Wonder Woman are going to have to do battle, I would assume. But they never showed her as Cheetah.
Right.
They showed her talking to Wonder Woman at one point, and then I think her in a black dress. But that was almost it. And then I think that businessman, I don't want to say he's Maxwell Fink. Maybe it is. I want to say it's Max something. But he's like one of the big-time, like, billionaire dudes from the DC universe, who I think at one point Wonder Woman, like, cuts off his head.
Oh, my...
Like, it's a real dark part of the DC. I don't know. You're not going to see that in WW 84. You're definitely not.
Maybe you will.
How'd you like the gold armor?
I didn't, to be honest with you. It didn't look very good.
It looked awkward.
Yeah.
It looked rough. She kind of looked awkward in it, too.
Yeah.
It was, like, very stiff, or at least what they showed when she was like, I'll put the picture up. But when they showed that was, like...
a little bit rough.
I was like, eh. But
I mean... I think it's the theme of all of these trailers. I think they're all kind of lukewarm. You know what I mean?
2020 shaping up to be a banger year.
Well, the problem is these trailers are lukewarm, but it doesn't mean I don't show interest in these movies or don't think they can be good. I just feel like these trailers are kind of meh. You know what I mean? Isn't it weird to be like, I kind of want to see that movie even though the trailer was not that great,
Yeah, that is weird. That's real weird.
But like usually we're like pumped, like, oh my god, knock the table over, like I'm what for.
No.
I mean, 2 years ago, you can't act like people weren't like literally like trailers were their lifeblood. They're so excited whenever a new one comes out.
Some are. Like
but my point is like these trailers are getting, I don't know, worse.
The Godzilla trailer, for example. I loved that trailer.
Right, exactly.
There's some
it was
really
an amazingly
great
crafted trailer.
Good movie too.
These trailers weren't crafted as well, is all I'm getting
Which
at.
is surprising because Marvel does a pretty good job, and DC normally does a pretty good job with trailers, especially.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, off topic real quick. Did you see the Snyder Cut thing? Like, everyone's jumped on this whole Snyder Cut thing, and it's apparently like 3 hours and 43 minutes long, and it actually does exist.
For what?
The Snyder Cut of Justice League.
Oh, people are still like
Ben Affleck, Gal Gadot, like all of them tweeted like release the Snyder Cut pretty much. And then Zack Snyder came out and said there's like a 3 hour and 43 minute cut of the movie. That's like completely different from the one that came out.
So, do you think DC will do it just because money?
It depends. Money, just because money.
Well, if you can re-release your exact same movie a second time,
ever do it. That's the only reason they'll ever do it is money.
Again, you can re-release the exact same movie a second time. Like
it depends. I don't think so. But you know, WW84, I am pumped for the second coming of Wonder Woman. I like when they're in the hallway and she hit the gun and the bullet popped up and then she hit it and you know she's just gonna smack it with her wrist thing. Right. It's gonna go. That was cool.
Do you think she kills people?
That was cool to me. Well, probably. I don't know. We'll see. DC's never really shied away from that in their movies, though.
So you think that's a pretty simple question?
Didn't she kill people in the first one?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either. But let's say yes.
Wait, the first Wonder Woman movie?
Yes.
Didn't watch it to completion.
Wow, you do hate women.
Whoa.
Oh, I took the shot. It was so easy.
Well,
it was so easy.
when you don't watch Mulan, we're going to have another conversation then.
It's fine. That's totally fine. Speaking of the 80s, though, Ghostbusters is getting another reboot. Not reboot. This is Ghostbusters 3, technically. So they tried the woman's reboot. People said, no, thank you. I never saw it. And then they were like, we're going to do the actual reboot with the real characters coming back, and it's going to be the same, blah, 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 blah. So we're going to give you a trailer of one of the kids from Stranger Things and a bunch of other kids finding Ghostbusters stuff. We'll throw Paul Rudd in there to be kind of funny. And we'll throw the ectoplasm, and we'll throw Bill Murray's voice over at one point. But we won't actually show you any of the old Ghostbusters that we promised are going to be in the movie. Whatever.
It's just like Jurassic World, right? It's not technically a reboot because it's still in the same universe canon, yada, yada, yada. It's the next one.
In the 80s, New York was like The Walking Dead. Paul Rudd, though, I'm actually excited for in that movie because I actually don't think he's going to ruin it.
I don't think that movie looks terrible, to be honest.
The kids bother me more so.
I'm nervous as to how bad they're going to be because, like, there's that.
How much of this is their story versus how much of this is because they're the grandchildren of Egon Spengler, right? Yeah. They're the grandchildren of Egon Spengler. That's the uniform she finds in the closet.
So I'm fine with it being about them because ultimately what made the Ghostbusters kind of fun was like they had no idea what they were doing with all of their equipment and like they're just trying to collect a paycheck and they've got like freaking super radioactive lasers that will instantly kill people and they barely know what they're doing. Like when they're in the elevator and he flips it on and everybody's kind of like, okay, take a step back, watch out, we're gonna die of radiation. Like that's neat to me because it's like they are tampering with technology they have no business messing around with. And then you get kids involved. I'm just worried it's going to turn into, instead of these kids using technology they shouldn't be using to bust ghosts, it's going to turn into like, ooh, crazy hijinks where we stole the Ecto-1 and we're driving through town destroying everything when there's no bad guy ghosts about.
It looked like they were chasing Slimer.
And that's what I'm hoping.
Slimer's going to be like the first ghost that comes out. Then you're going to have then there's going to be the reintroduction of the old characters. Bill Murray will have that speech when he like walks in and
so what I'm hoping
fate or whatever.
If we get lucky. So this is what I'm wondering, and maybe I'm totally guessing wrong or whatever, but it's like Ghostbusters Afterlife. I'm really hoping they turn into ghosts and like they're like the villains because like
they said that they. Okay, so you heard the dog on the car. Mm-hmm. Boom, boom. I've heard rumors that it's a throwback. Those are the dogs from the first movie.
Right.
That's a throwback to those demons on that side. So I don't think they would be ghosts. And I don't think they're going to... Because then you would walk the risk of, if they're all dead, you'd have to try to bring back the dead guy. the one we were talking about, Spangler, who's actually dead.
I mean,
if you're gonna do that, because then it's really weird if you don't bring him back, considering that they're his grandkids, right? You would want to kind of bring in maybe some old, rugged, retired, like washed out Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd. Do they bring in the other dude? I can't remember his name. Winston? Do they bring in Winston?
I don't know, man.
Or do we get just Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd?
That would be messed up if it was. Let's just say that.
That would be kind of messed up if it was.
Oh, we can bring these two back. We would bring the dead guy back if he wasn't dead, but we don't really want to bring in the black guy. Like,
Eddie
dude.
Hudson?
What's going
Eddie
on here?
Is that the actor's name? Eddie Hudson? Tell me if I'm right in the comment section below. And
come on, dude. And he was, honestly, he's probably my favorite Ghostbuster.
Was he in the first one?
Yeah.
And the second one?
I don't remember if he was in the second one.
Maybe I thought he was just in the second one.
I think he's in the second one, but he was totally in the first one. He doesn't join the Ghostbusters till later.
Like way later.
Remember when they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna catch ghosts. He's like, I'll believe whatever you want to tell me as long as there's a steady paycheck.
Right. Oh, that's right.
He's awesome.
And then he is fully in the second one. That's right. He isn't joined until later.
He's like my favorite Ghostbuster because all he's there. He's like, dude, I just need a check. I don't care. Whatever.
So then, will they have him back then, or is he outdo?
I mean, if you're gonna include any Ghostbusters, but you don't include him, I'll be pretty sore.
Are you
about
surprised
it.
we didn't get Dan Aykroyd voicing over any part of the trailer, and that it was just Bill Murray?
I'm surprised that he didn't say, "Hey guys, who wants to buy my vodka?"
That's true. Always shilling that vodka. You got to shill your drink, though. I mean, come on. They got to self-promote, buddy. I mean, these guys are hard up for cash, okay? That's why they're making another Ghostbusters. Oh, Bill Murray isn't hard up for cash, but Dan Aykroyd, I mean, he's probably got a decent bank account, but he could use a little bit more.
He's probably, out of all of them, he's probably rolling in the money the most.
Maybe. It depends on how they invested when they're younger.
He invested in Skull Vodka.
Skull Vodka. The skulls?
Yeah.
That's his?
That's him,
Gross.
dude. The Crystal Skull Vodka.
That's speaking of a bad movie, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. That's a bad movie. That's such a bad movie. Speaking of a potentially bad movie, Star Wars Rise of Skywalker comes out in 9 days. 9 days. You got your tickets? You ready to go?
Do you think it'll be
Locked
so
and
busy
loaded?
that I'll have to get tickets early, or do you think I can go opening
Tell you this
night?
right now. If you're trying to go opening night, try to find a handicap row. Secret opening nights. Don't waste your money buying tickets ahead of time. You can go and get handicap rows as long as no one's sitting in them. Or wait for like the week before, like Monday of next week, and they'll put a few openings will pop up. But everything's pretty much sold out. I've been looking in our area, and I've been looking at Shakopee, Burnsville, and Egan, the three closest to me. Or the three that I like.
See, I know which one. Yeah, exactly.
And I've been checking showtimes. I've literally been checking showtimes from like 5. Your secret is to go to the crap hole in the old
the
mall.
worst one.
Yeah,
you want to see? You want to see a movie? I promise you, they will. You'll be able to put your feet up. There will be so few people in there.
Yeah, but nobody wants to go there. The seats
do.
Will. Then you'll need back surgery when you get done because the seats are so uncomfortable.
Well,
the surround sound's trap. No, you don't go to that theater.
So
there's an old theater that he used to work at where I met him, and it's in this mall that's pretty much dead. It has like nothing in it besides. Does it have a liquor store still and a coffee shop maybe?
No,
there's
liquor
nothing.
store.
Okay, they got rid of the liquor store. It's like a coffee shop.
A liquor store couldn't make it in
and
there.
And a Dollar General's at one end,
and
like I think a business or a school bought out or whatever. Either way, it is the worst theater in the Twin Cities. Hands down.
But
if you want to take
on opening weekend to Star Wars, they will probably still have.
I want to enjoy my movie going.
They'll have 12 tickets sold for that auditorium.
So will you be going that opening weekend then?
I mean, if the fancy one's sold out, yeah, because I know they won't be.
Are you going as a single though? Because if you're going as a single, so here's where I'm at right now. The wife's been like wishy-washy on if she wants to go, and being that everything's been booked, she hasn't had to make a decision. As soon as something opens up next week, she's gonna either have to make a decision. She's coming with me opening night, or we're gonna see it with her family the week after. I can't wait that long, nor can I stay off the internet for that many days.
Right.
I can't do it. It's not possible physically. I can't. So so she was like, "We'll just go by yourself opening night," and I'm like, "Well, maybe." Because I could get a ticket like front middle on the 7:00 showing over in Burnsville for like $12, and there's like one loner seat, just boom right in the middle. So, but I need her to make their decision because I haven't bought tickets yet either. I'm gonna go see it, and I'm gonna go see it opening weekend, hopefully with my wife. But she's like I said, she's been wishy-washy.
I don't know. I haven't even asked the wife what she's thinking and if she wants to go see it.
It's the last saga film. No more sagas. No more episodes. Everything else, everything that comes out from here on will be different. It'll be in the galaxy, but it won't be about Skywalkers and it won't be about this stuff. Which I don't know how they're going to do that. But
I mean,
we'll figure it out.
pretty easy. I mean, have you even? I mean,
Well, yeah,
the
they have-
extended universe.
Extended universe doesn't exist, but they have
you know
mad
what I mean?
history. They have a lot of history, and I guess they
but
could
you
jump
can do stuff
forward in
around.
time.
It's a universe. When you're talking, the Skywalkers are over here destroying
In
the
this
Death
50
Star.
years.
This guy could be somewhere else.
That's
You can
true.
have things happening at the exact same time that are just as important.
But it's only 50 years. You got thousands of years ahead, thousands of years behind.
But you don't
You
even
can do
need to
whatever you want.
utilize that. You can go literally the same day that the Death Star was destroyed, this happened, and it wouldn't mean anything because it's a whole universe.
It would really depend on the story at that point.
And I'm not saying like they could to do that, but my point is
Right.
It's such
it's a big galaxy.
right?
Yeah.
And you don't need to just because the Skywalkers exist at a point doesn't mean they need to be included in the story.
Did you get Disney Plus?
Twice?
What do you mean twice?
Twice.
You had to buy it twice?
Well, so if you're a Verizon customer, you get it for free.
Okay.
The wife's a Verizon customer, so she got it for free for a year, and doesn't have access to her account or something, so we lost that account. And she was like, I don't really want to do all that work, so she just bought a year's subscription.
All right.
So
That works.
We
So-
technically got it twice.
And you've watched all 5 episodes of The Mandalorian so far?
I haven't. I haven't even watched one. We
You
just
haven't
got
watched-
it.
You haven't watched any of The Mandalorian?
No, we
Not-
just got it access to it like 2 days ago, and she's been watching stuff, and I wasn't gonna be like,
Oh my god! No,
uh,
you got to be like, we need to watch The Mandalorian. I forced this family to start watching The Mandalorian, and like, wife was super reluctant. Little man had no idea what a Mandalorian was, so he didn't care. Once episode 3 hit, Levi now knows when they come out, and he'll come home from school and tell me, Can we watch? He doesn't say Mandalorian correctly, but he says, "Can we watch it tonight?"
I'm honestly kind of curious how he says Mandalorian,
And
because
how have
that's
you
a tongue
seen-
twister.
Have you seen? He calls it Mandalorian or Mandalor. He says something really weird. But you've seen like the Baby Yoda stuff,
Of course, who hasn't?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can't miss that.
It's like saying,
ba-
have you been on the internet
The Baby
in the
Yoda
last?
memes. That alone would have gotten me into it, and that ruins it. See, I'm glad I didn't know that. I did not. I got to watch episode 1 not knowing Baby Yoda existed. So when it really opened up and it was Baby Yoda in the first episode, like that's what he's going after is Baby Yoda.
Well, you just spoiled it really hard for me because I had no
Okay.
idea what he was going after in the first episode. Thanks, dude.
So you didn't care. But you saw Baby Yoda. But when they open it, you're like, oh my God, it's a Baby Yoda type creature.
Unbelievable.
But then you're like, I
Unbelievable.
won't tell you anything more.
He just ruined the
No, I
whole
didn't.
series for me.
No, I didn't. Don't let him lie to you, people.
Whole series ruined.
Don't let him lie to you. He is not. So of the 5 trailers we watched, we never asked this question. What was your favorite? Favorite, least favorite. Go.
Oh man, that's a tough one.
Favorite for me was Black Widow.
Really wow.
Least favorite, Mulan.
Ooh, someone's them fighting words.
I'm just saying.
I think as far as like how well put together the trailer was, not necessarily interested in seeing movie wise. I think the Ghostbusters trailer was arguably the most well put together.
was a
Like,
good
you know
trailer.
what I mean? It was a good trailer. There was a lot to like there. As far as like trailer, I was kind of
I
like,
felt bait and switchy on that though. Kind of like in my
I
rant.
don't disagree with
because
you.
they like promised one thing and then they gave me the Stranger Kid. They gave me
Yeah.
the Stranger Things kid and his sister ripping around town in the Ecto One.
But the trailer was still cool. You can't act like it wasn't awesome watching them ripping around in the
no,
Ecto
and
One.
and like I said, I like Paul Rudd. I like where they were going.
I think the trailer was better than the other
Yeah,
trailers.
yeah.
Now,
that was my
What
second
would I say?
favorite behind
Least favorite trailer.
Black Widow, and then right above Wonder Woman. But it's the last two for me are Mulan and Bond. You can just interchange those.
really,
Yeah, I didn't like either. I didn't care. I didn't care, and if I don't care and I'm not invested, then I'm not going to see it, and I'm just yawn. Why am I doing this?
you know, see, I almost want to put Black Widow on the bottom there, but
Oof.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I kind of feel bad
Hey,
because
no,
I feel
go
like
with it.
I don't feel like it was that bad. But when I rethink about the other ones,
You're just looking in a vacuum. The 5 trailers
Right.
we watched in a vacuum. Which one you liked most? Which one you liked least? For me, most was Black Widow. Least, Mulan.
see, I think Black Widow's the bottom for me. It just was a rough trailer. I feel like it wasn't very good. Not that the other ones were that much better.
See, and I
but
disagree because like I said, I did not care about a Black Widow movie going into it
I'm shocked
And
that
came
trailer
out of
made
that
you
trailer-
want to go see that movie.
because now I know. Like, I like the dad.
Okay.
in the the Guardian.
So the
right?
only good part of that trailer is that guy, and it's not even a movie
That guy,
about him.
I like that. I like Scarlett Johansson's character. Like I like how they're going back to how it seems like
I
they're
think
going
they
back
make
to
her less interesting in this than they did. Like I feel like she's made so much progress over the movies that this is like almost a step back.
Well, they have to
like
because
3.
she hasn't made. Yeah, of course, it's probably more like 10 because
Okay.
she hasn't made the progress that her character made.
So she's way
still,
less interesting. So you're going to take a
No.
character who is boring and make a whole movie about the boring part of
In
her.
the first Avengers, what does she say? I need to get all the red out of my ledger, which means she's been doing. She's been walking a line.
Okay.
She's still walking this line in that film.
Okay.
I want to see her make some of
And
those
in
poor
the-
decisions, and I want to see why she feels that she has to be redeemed. Does she kill her sister? Does she like what happens that she feels so badly about it that by the time she gets to Endgame, she wants to sacrifice herself for the greater good and just for everything, and just knowing that like I'm the one who should do it because you got a family and like. There's just I want to see how kind of we got there.
I guess,
right?
but that's not really the trailer or this movie that makes you want all that. That's the
No,
background around it.
the trailers of what
You
I didn't know
literally
what-
referenced 3 movies
Right.
as to why you want to see this movie, but
No.
nothing from the trailer other than her sister exists.
until I started putting it all together with the trailer and knowing what the story was going to be with like them going back to shut down the school, that sort of stuff. That's what made me actually be like, no, you know what? I do want this movie. I will be there opening weekend. And this was going to be the first Marvel movie I was going to skip opening weekend. I was going to skip opening weekend. I was like, it's not a movie I wanted or cared about. And then I saw the trailer and I just felt differently. I can't explain why, but maybe it was dude in the red suit, the fat dude. Maybe it was, I don't know, but
I don't know. I don't think I think you're in the minority on this one.
because Wonder Woman gave me like nothing of what the story was.
I don't disagree. Wonder Woman was kind of like, but Wonder Woman had like a distinct feeling. Like the whole time, I'm like, yeah,
80s.
80s.
It had 80s vibe. What,
80s.
what hasn't done that lately?
Well, I'm just saying, it felt like it would
That
be
wrapped with all the
fun.
Stranger Things people throughout the all trailers and the 80s vibe. I'm like,
Yeah, it did feel very like,
right? We go Stranger Things dude in the first one.
Right.
There were no Stranger Things people in Bond, nor in Mulan. But then you pretty much had then Wonder Woman, which is in the 80s, and then the kid from the
Yeah.
goofy-haired kid in the Ghostbusters trailer. So, yeah, I mean, yeah. So, but let us know if you watched those 5 trailers or you did after this video. What do you like best? What do you like least? That's me. You know, I'm super excited though for Rise of Skywalker. My anticipation has been tepid at best.
okay.
Okay. Then all of a sudden these like little mini clips started coming out, like not a full trailer, but just like these little like 30-second TV spots.
Okay.
And I started watching every one to get a notification every time it dropped, and I'd watch it. And I don't know why, but like I'm starting to get more and more amped for this movie because I'll be honest, Mandalorian almost, and I know I'm not alone in this, has a lot of people like Ray who like let's go down different pathways, right?
Well,
because it's such a vast galaxy, because it's so interesting, let's just get away from these people. It might hurt the box office for Rise of Skywalker. I don't think it will, but it might.
This is the thing. I get a little frustrated with how people talk about Mandalorian compared to like the main Star Wars stuff because they're just so like they don't have a good reason. Like they're always like, well, it just feels like Star Wars. Where the movies just they don't have that Star Wars feeling. And I'm like, but what is that?
No,
like that's like describing like, oh man, this chicken, it just doesn't taste like chicken. It's like, well, what does that mean? Like you can't describe it. Like you
Right.
just making up words because you didn't like something or did like something.
I
That's
think
fine.
for me, the feel of Star Wars goes to like the world that they've been building in The Mandalorian, right? That it's more of a lawless world, and then building the stuff around him that makes it feel like more Star Wars to me. And then just like even the stormtroopers in the beginning, how they're like dirty, and you can tell the Empire's fallen, and there's like little pocket resistance stuff. And then for me, like I understand what the new movies and what people are talking about is like it's
not even. We're talking like prequels, new movies, all of it. Everyone's like, yeah, the original 3.
yes.
Mandalorian feels like
if
that.
you're talking like yes, because it's set on a lot of desert lands. They use a lot of.
They use deserts in the prequels. You can't be like, oh, there's deserts and dirty people, and like that's not that doesn't mean anything.
I know. But the world feels the same as the world post Empire, right?
No,
because you're not in the prequels. You're in the realm of the Republic.
But it still feels like the same universe, just a different time.
No.
Yes, it does.
Feels like a different universe.
It does.
I mean,
just because the movies suck doesn't mean it doesn't feel like you're in Star Wars.
I like all
There's
of the
lightsabers
movies.
and all sorts of stuff. I'm like, this is Star Wars. There's nothing about this.
There's no lightsabers. Here's the thing. There's no lightsabers in Mandalorian, as we've seen yet. Well, I can't say a lot without spoiling things because you're a douche.
And I'm not trying to say like Mandalorian's bad. What I'm saying is I feel like people the way they describe
don't not get on the boat because of this though. I'm just telling you, and there is a reason why they're saying it because I have the same feeling. Like Mandalorian, it's not that it feels more Star Wars. It just feels more OG.
I'm about to start throwing stuff.
It feels more OG trilogy, and it's not anything specifically that you can put your finger on.
Yeah, it is. I'll tell you what that feeling is. I'll tell you what you can put. It's good. It's okay to admit it.
No,
it's okay.
I haven't loved all the episodes. I haven't loved all the episodes.
The only person you're lying to right now is yourself. It's okay.
The episode
the truth
4
will set you free.
Episode 4 is like a complete filler episode. It's pretty much Samurai 7 with 2 bounty hunters on pretty much a different planet.
Okay.
Like it wasn't a great episode.
Oh, I'm also gonna. People have said there is nothing Star Wars like everything like they haven't done anything that feels this Star Wars since like the original. Wrong. This is the other thing that makes me mad. So you're saying Rebels you didn't think felt Star Wars? That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to tell. Everybody acts like this
because
is first.
Clone Wars and Rebels I don't because when I'm watching an animated thing,
dude, we're about to fight. Like seriously,
it's a different world. You can't make a computer have the feeling and the textures of that world. I'm just telling you, it's the care that Dave Filoni and Jon
Favreau
anymore have put into this. That's fine.
You just broke up our friendship.
That's fine because Star Wars, Rebels, and Clone Wars, wonderful shows. They feel like very similar together. But do I put them in the same book as the movies? No. Do they feel like the movies? No. Do I watch Force Awakens and that feels Star Wars to me too? Yes. Force Awakens felt Star Wars. That felt like returning to Star Wars. People say who didn't are just lying to themselves because it did, because there were rehashes of the original trilogy in that movie, just like there'll be rehashes of the original trilogy in the newest movie coming out. But The Mandalorian feeling like Star Wars
is meaningless, it's not true.
It's not meaningless. It's not meaningless. When you watch it, you haven't watched it. You can't say that because you haven't watched it. I would have said the same thing. The hype train for this was crazy.
So when I watch this, I'm going to go, oh, God. You know that feeling deep inside?
No.
That's Star Wars. That's how I'm going to describe that.
The world is the same. It's not all shiny and new like the prequels, because the prequels, everything was shiny. The ships were shiny. Everything, it was a golden age, right? The OG trilogy, everything was kind of in turmoil. Everything was kind of more dirty, more run down. It was just like when you walked into the cantina on Mos Eisley, like it's just... I can't describe it to you, man. You gotta
and
watch
that's
it.
my point.
You gotta
that's
watch
ultimately
it.
my point. No
it.
one can actually describe it, and they use the
because
word.
It's a feeling. It's a feeling. You can't.
It feels like
you
Star
can't
Wars.
always describe.
It just feels like Star Wars.
Can you always?
I woke up this morning and I was like, dude, I just feel like Star Wars right now.
The way you feel about like things.
Yes.
Really.
Yes.
No, you can't. No, I know you because you're always no, I don't know I know
Unbelievable.
But I'm saying it does.
Wrong.
It doesn't feel more like Star Wars. What they're saying, and here's the correction for people. They're not saying Mandalorian feels more like Star Wars than anything else that's come out. They're saying Mandalorian feels like the original trilogy more than anything's felt like the original trilogy because it's set so close to the same
Star Wars feeling.
It's set so close
That's
to the same time
literally what people have said. I could probably pull up the posts.
I'm not saying what other people are saying. I'm just saying this is how this is what they're mislabeling. It feels like the OG trilogy as opposed to like everything feels Star Wars. You show me TIE fighters, you show me that it feels Star Wars. Solo feels Star Wars. Everything has felt Star Wars.
This is like the original trilogy? Okay, well what does that mean, anything?
Because that's what people have the font. Everyone, if you talk about Star Wars in any circle, even prequel loving, anybody who loves everyone will say the OG trilogy is still the best. Everyone will say the OG trilogy is like the heart of Star Wars, right? Because that's what everything spawns off of.
Well, and arguably has the three best movies in it.
It's the closest to everyone's. Debatable, because I will say they're. No, well, that's a different discussion for a different time. But
we've already had that discussion.
I don't think they are. I don't think totally they are.
Well, I mean, you can
there's
at
bits
least
and pieces from each trilogy.
Would you say the
that's
best
amazing.
movie was in that one?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay,
that's
would
the best.
Say...
No. I wouldn't say the best movie. I'd say the best story has been those three. That's the best story.
So, what would you say is the best movie?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm about to discount your opinion real hard, so you choose your words wisely.
Some days it's Return of the Jedi because that's the one that most associate with my childhood. Some days it's Empire Strikes Back because that's one I most associate with my current like fandom love.
Okay.
But yes, I guess they'd have the best movie.
Yeah,
they would have the best movie, but that's essentially because they have the best story. But that's what everyone's feeling center is connected to the most, right?
Because it has the most good movies.
No, yes, but it's also because that's where their connection to Star Wars usually starts, is somewhere in that OG timeline, right? So when people say it feels Star Wars, that's not what they mean, because everything feels Star Wars. You show me TIE fighters, show me lightsabers, it's Star Wars. What they're saying, and I don't even know that they know that they're saying this, is it just feels like it gives you those OG trilogy feels like when you were a kid, when you're watching that and you're most associating it with the thing you love most about Star Wars. That's why it feels like that. Because it's number one, the closest in, well, Rogue One is like right before. But Rogue One got a lot of the same love. People said that felt like Star Wars for the same reasons. That this one. Damn. I almost forgot about Rogue One. When we're talking about the best movie, Rogue One's really high up there for me.
Not a lot of other people would agree with you.
Rogue One is really high up there for me. So,
but
it's still in that time frame.
Right. Oh, I don't disagree with you. I'm just trying to. My point is that
of the 4 movies they've made since Disney's got it, Force Awakens, Last Jedi.
How do you feel
Rogue
about
One
Han
and Solo?
That's right in that same time frame too.
No. That is.
In fact, it's full of Star Troopers too. Like,
no,
man,
it's a little bit before.
It's like
Solo
there's like a whole bunch of
Nope.
really old Star Wars things that you should be fond of in that movie. But unfortunately,
Solo takes place. I like Solo, but Solo takes place closer to prequels than it does to OG trilogy.
Okay, now you're stretching.
It does.
Now you're really stretching.
It takes place closer to the prequels.
So, how old do you think Han Solo is in that movie?
And closer to the OG trilogy. I don't care. I'm just saying, if I was going to connect it. And I don't hate Solo. You're not talking to someone who hates Solo.
So there's still clones running around in Solo? No, is the short
Rex,
answer.
Well, no, because it takes place.
Get rid of Rex.
Rebels. We're talking about Rebels.
Don't count Rex because I'm talking clones in the army.
Right,
because the end of prequels, they still had clones, right?
Right.
Okay.
But in Rebels, they don't.
So you're telling me?
Would you say Rebels is most like the OG trilogy, even though that's closely to it?
I mean, it's literally same time as Rogue One.
Plus, this is the first time. Another reason I think is this is the first time they've explored what happens after Jedi, like right after Jedi.
Okay, what does that have to do with anything?
People have always want to know what happens what happens after Jedi. You know, we've gotten all the story beforehand.
Right,
but going back that far is.
But my point is just because it's close to the original trilogy or has like similarities of the original trilogy, that's not what people are. It's good. Is ultimately what people like about it. And they say the Star Wars feeling is, and my response is, it's good. That's what they're trying to describe. Because you have other movies that are just as close to the original trilogy. No. Yes, because again, Rogue One is closer.
It starts literally the end of Rogue One is the beginning of New Hope.
And Rebels is right next to it, which you said doesn't
Rebels
count.
Rebels is prior to.
They're literally in Rogue One.
No, they're not.
They have their ship
the Ghost.
Yes,
the Ghost is also in
Rogue One.
The Ghost is also in Rise of Skywalker coming up. The Ghost is one of the many ships in the shot at the end of Rise of Skywalker. So are we saying that they're in Rise of Skywalker too? So then they'd fall in like all categories.
Okay, but we're talking about canon. It's like when we watch Rebels, it's.
So
whatever.
Rebels is different. Rebels is different. You're agreeing. Because you're saying Rebels is over here.
No. My point is we can talk about the canon and how technically you're wrong all day.
I'm not wrong.
But whatever.
I'm just telling you.
But if we were to play a timeline out.
Watch it.
First off, if we were to lay a timeline out, there's plenty of not people's favorite that people don't describe as good
Nope.
movies that are just as close as Mandalorian. It's
No.
not how close it is.
No.
It isn't. It's the quality of the film.
Yes,
it's
the proximity to it becoming after the fact of Jedi. That's what I'm saying. After the fact of Jedi.
Well, now you're splitting hairs. Now you're like, oh, well,
No,
as
no,
long
no,
as it's
no.
after.
No,
Before
no,
doesn't
no.
technically count, even though it's closer.
Because we've had
I had to change
the
my argument because
prequels.
you proved me wrong.
No, you didn't prove me wrong.
I kinda did.
I will give you Rogue One. I will give you Rogue One that is really close, but that's also really good. And that also, when that came out,
Other people wouldn't agree with that.
I don't give a shit what other people say.
But my point is the same people who say Mandalorian is...
A lot of other people, when that came out, when Rogue One came out, they said this feels like Star Wars for the exact same reasons that they say this feels like Star Wars.
Because they're wrong and dumb?
No, they're not wrong. And they're entitled to their opinion. You're entitled to your shitty opinion. But that doesn't make you wrong. It just means that your opinion's shitty.
I can't help it that Mandalorian might
You
be good,
have-
but people need to learn
You
that
haven't
it's
watched
not
it.
because it's got a Star Wars feeling. It's because it's good.
It's both.
It can be good and not have the Star Wars feeling, the magical feeling that is what makes good Star Wars content.
I think that's what people. I think that's where people had a disconnect with the Lando one. Or not with the Lando, with the Solo one, is that it didn't feel enough like it was close enough to that stuff, and people didn't really like the Han Solo character or the actor.
There's so much bad about it. It's not the Star Wars feeling that it was lacking. It's so much other things
but
that
you
it's lacking.
also look at the production of that, where it had Lord and Miller on it, then it had Ron Howard,
And that's my point.
That's way different.
That's my point. It's not a magical feeling about seeing stormtroopers.
When I said earlier, I said it's because Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau. That's what I said in the beginning of this argument was. It was Dave Filoni.
But your description isn't that they're good at their jobs. It's they understand Star Wars. That's why they made a good Star Wars movie.
They do. They do understand Star Wars, and they're great storytellers.
But that's really what I'm saying is it has nothing to do with understanding Star Wars. It's the fact that they're great storytellers.
No.
Like, yes, you have to understand your medium to kind of have an idea of what you're doing.
Rian Johnson didn't understand it and swung and missed, regardless of how you feel. I actually like.
But he swung and missed not because he didn't understand it, but because his goal was to subvert your expectations.
His goal was to make a Rian Johnson movie and not a Star Wars movie.
No, it was to subvert your expectations. He's quoted as like, I'm going to subvert your expectations like a million times.
Because that's what his movies are.
Well,
that's
it's
not
because what he
Star
wanted
Wars,
to do.
No. Yeah,
there's too much.
That's
he's
the
even
type
been
of the
quoted
director.
as like,
Yes.
oh, like no matter what you do, you're gonna fail, kind of, because like there's so much built up to this, and people have these expectations in their head, and no matter what you do, you're gonna be wrong. So what I want them to, when they leave the film,
he can say he swung for the fences, and you're gonna be damned if you don't. That's not true. It's not true, and Mandalorian proves that.
So what you're saying is no, he's wrong. He didn't just try to subvert your expectations. He just didn't understand the Star Wars feeling.
No. He wanted to make a Rian Johnson movie. Directors have egos. Rian Johnson has a style.
Okay, and so he just completely flipped all of these and just did these bait and switches on everything because that's his style.
Exactly. Watch Knives Out.
This video is going to be like 80 more minutes if we keep going.
But that's what I'm saying, is he wanted to make a Rian Johnson movie that was Star Wars, not a Star Wars movie from Rian Johnson. Where J.J. Abrams, complete opposite approach. Regardless of what you think the tropes in Force Awakens are or not, J.J. Abrams came in and said, I'm going to make a Star Wars movie. Because what's J.J. Abrams known for? Big twists, crazy stuff like Lost and that sort of like...
I guess, but like his Star Trek, like where was your big twist there?
I'm not talking about this, but see, he went into it making a Star Trek movie.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. He made a Star Wars movie out of that Star Trek movie, which is my point. He understands Star Wars. He understands feeling.
It's not a
feeling. But no one's
acting
acting like that movie was like as good as Mandalorian. You know what I mean?
Oh, Force Awakens better than Mandalorian right now for me.
Okay, maybe you, but my point is the people that I'm frustrated with are these people who make up a magical feeling is what makes good content for Star Wars.
They're just new trilogy. It's new trilogy haters trying to spin it that they're not new trilogy haters because look how much they love this, and so they can give them.
And that's my point. And that there is no such thing as a Star Wars feeling. It's just good content. You either make a good Star Wars product or you don't. And it falls into has Star Wars feeling or doesn't if it's good or not.
Yes, quality comes into that feeling, 100%.
No, my point is that it's not people make up this feeling to legitimize hating the new ones.
No, I think the Star Wars feeling is real.
I disagree, because I think there's plenty of Star Wars content that
there are things I watch, and when I watch them, they connect me to my childhood, which is a feeling.
Okay.
Which is it's a nostalgia feeling, but that's what it is, right? And when I get that connection to like how much I love that, you're right. There is a quality that comes into it, but it also is a feeling that's attached to my overall feeling about what Star Wars is. And Star Wars is different to every single individual.
But my
right?
point
Star Wars
is you
to
like
me,
new Star Wars content,
yeah,
right?
I like all Star Wars content.
Okay, so
I don't hate
nostalgia,
on anything.
nostalgia
Well, okay,
aside.
except Resistance. Star Wars Resistance is trash. Don't try to change my mind.
don't know
It's
what
trash. It's the new animated show. It's the one that,
Oh, really?
It's the one that came out, like Poe Dameron's in it, and it's like before The Force Awakens, I want to say, but a few years. That's trash.
Really?
Don't like it.
Animated?
Yeah, it's on Disney. It's on your Disney Plus. You could watch it. It's
How
not
many-
great.
Has it got a couple seasons? Or
It's
what?
on season 2 right now. Not wonderful.
No?
Not wonderful.
Way different than Rebels?
Oh God, yeah. God, yes. Like it. I don't know. And like I said, I watched most of season 1, and then I have zero interest. There's enough things I want to watch that I don't watch. I'm not going to take time
To watch this
watching
weird
things
Star
that I
Wars thing
don't
that's
like
good.
watching. Like that. Right. I don't like. And you're right. Quality does come into it. But,
Quality is
but
99% of it. I
No,
feel like
I don't
this
think so.
feeling.
I don't think so.
So you're saying a bad Star Wars
Because
film.
the feeling I have about Star Wars has nothing to do with how good Return of the Jedi is, but when I watch things that make me remember like watching them with my dad and my brother on sick days at home, and that's the feeling that I get, that nostalgia feeling, and that feels Star Wars to me. You know what I'm saying?
But my point is, well, first of all, if that's really what you're describing, then it's not a Star Wars feeling. It's a nostalgia. There, we just nailed it. Found what that feeling is. It's called nostalgia, and
That
it
could
works
be-
sometimes
that-
and doesn't work
that could-
other times.
exactly.
It usually works when the film is good.
It works even sometimes when it's not good.
But I mean, my point is,
It works better when it is higher quality. Yes.
at the end of the day, if you're just combining good movies with nostalgia, it's not a Star Wars feeling. It's good movies mixed with nostalgia.
No, it's not just good movies.
You
mixed with nostalgia.
literally just said,
I said
the
there's a
feeling when it brings
there's a
me
nos-
back to dad.
But
and,
when it brings you back to a certain time, or it brings you back
that's
to like
not Star Wars feeling. That's nostalgia.
no, because you're going back to like the first times watching the films, or
Which
like
is
the-
nostalgia.
The
It's
way,
just
yeah.
nostalgia for a specific
Okay.
product.
So
we
Star
figured
Wars-
out what the feeling.
Star
Star
Wars
Wars feeling is nostalgia
pretty much.
mixed with a couple sprinklings of if it's good, that really is going to make people actually admit that it's
If it's good.
Star Wars feeling. But if it's not good, then we're going to be like, ugh.
Something could still feel Star Wars and not be good though.
But my point is okay, describe one.
I.e. Solo. Solo feels Star Wars. Solo's not good.
But see, no one agrees
I don't
with that.
hate that. Yes,
People-
they do.
no, okay, I
one
shouldn't say-
No one has never said that Star Wars that it doesn't feel.
I shouldn't use all-encompassing statements like that. I agree, but people
No one has
described
said Solo doesn't feel
Mandalorian
like
as the
Star
first
Wars.
thing to feel like Star Wars since
the OG trilogy.
yes.
Because
Han
of its
Solo happened
proximity
since then.
to the end of the OG trilogy.
And again,
yes, it's good. Yes, it's good. It has to be good. Baby Yoda does a lot of it.
But
people love Baby Yoda.
my point is, I hate when people describe why it's good as it's got that Star Wars
That's
feel.
that's not the only thing people say.
That's what I see is the most common. It's just got that Star Wars feeling that you don't get from any of the new stuff. And I think that's just, again, the nostalgia mixed with good.
Go watch The Mandalorian. It'll totally give you that Star Wars feeling. Based on my banner,
I'm
episode
done.
137. We're out of
The
here.
show's over. I'm
Thor.
canceling it.
I'm Thor. That's Brian. Like, share, subscribe. Deuces, we out. If you like what you just saw, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our videos, follow us on Twitter and Instagram, and like our Facebook page.